So we know that the early church fathers, right after the apostles, significantly and substantially changed the service style from one that was led, guided, filled, inspired, and empowered by the Holy Spirit, see 1 Corinthians chapter 14, to something that turned out to be liturgical with mechanical responses and mechanical readings, and basically they do the same thing over and over and over again. My question is, since the early church practice in the Bible was so different than this liturgy, where did they get it from? They didn't get it from the New Testament. They didn't get it from the writings of the apostles. The church that the apostles built was one that radically reflected the presence of God through the power of the Holy Spirit. Think Pentecost, think signs, wonders, miracles, think tongues, interpretation, prophecy, and judgment, the spiritual gifts. That was what an early church service was like. They literally never knew what was going to happen from time to time. Where did they get their service from? So remember, before this was instituted, there was the synagogue during Jesus' time. They had readings of the Torah. They had ritualized prayers. They had responses. The leaders would have a prayer shawl or perhaps other customary garments. I'm going to argue that the seeds for the liturgy were planted in a synagogue service during the first century. Judaism was a huge influence at the time and also in the region. And so it makes sense that that's what they knew and that's what they were comfortable with. Also, we're told in the Bible that there are so-called Judaizers, men who basically were trying to claim Jesus, but also go back to the tenets of Judaism at the same time. So the idea that they would rely upon a Jewish synagogue service during the first century makes an awful lot of sense. This service, the liturgy, did not come from the Bible. It came from them being heavily inspired by synagogue services and making it up based upon that.